Piers Morgan had no chance against the famous kickboxer. Welcome back to another video, guys. Andrew Tate recently became famous for spreading awareness about male empowerment, but he soon became a disliked figure in the world. Piers Morgan was one of the few hosts to sit down and have a discussion. So here's a brief insight into the Andrew Tate versus Piers Morgan interview. A heated argument of controversial subjects. Tate made a number of appearances on different podcasts and interviews, but none of them have been as interesting as his encounter with Piers Morgan. He's also been a very controversial figure for his interviews and activities, and Tate made sure that he didn't give Piers a chance to manipulate his words. The best example of Andrew Tate proving Piers's manipulative tactics was him talking about implementation of Tate's principles in every man's life. Piers told Tate that a lot of people were offended by his remarks, and it wouldn't be a good lesson for those looking to improve their lives. Tate responded by saying that working hard, caring for our loved ones, and being focused was nothing wrong. He also burst out on other individuals who were creating a negative impact on the lives of children and teenagers, such as Lil Nas X and others. Piers was left without an answer after Tate asked him some simple questions. Andrew Tate schooling Piers Morgan. Piers also asked about Tate's views on the transgender community. Tate replied that he didn't know anybody who belonged to that group and therefore had no business talking about them. Piers tried to insinuate that Tate was a transphobic person, but the kickboxing champion thrashed Piers's view by translating it literally into fear of transgender people. Tate then explained to Morgan that he wasn't scared of transgenders and he didn't comment on things that weren't his business. Another example of Piers trying to create a negative impression of Tate was when the interviewer asked him about his views on authority over women. Piers tried his best to get Tate to accept that he believes in authority over women and exercised it as well. Piers asked Tate if he would let a woman take a walk at 2 a.m. at night, and Andrew replied that he would suggest to her that it's not safe. With that response, Piers wanted Andrew to admit that he had exercised dominant control in the situation, but Andrew had already explained his words to the interviewer in his response, making Piers look miserable. The topic ended with Tate coming out on top. Piers Morgan also tried to associate Tate with some negative influences that had taken a horrible form in some people's lives. Bringing up a BuzzFeed article, Morgan told Tate that a girl had described the transformation of her father from a loving and caring man to a person that couldn't stand a certain group of people. Tate, in his own fashion, told Morgan that he had never talked about such extreme measures. Therefore, linking his name with the man who might not have listened to his podcast is not a good thing to do. Tate also explained that the father had made decisions on his own as he was a full-grown man. The multimillionaire said that associating that man's ideology with Tate's quotes was unfair. Tate also took a jab at the BuzzFeed article, saying that the first part indicates that the rest of the piece is complete garbage. If you're enjoying the video so far, like and comment down below. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notifications for more such videos down the line. Now let's continue. Family over career. 2022 saw the dramatic rise of Andrew Tate on the internet. He became famous for his speeches that seemed to be directed at empowerment. While many men were inspired by his quotes and thought that he was showing them the right decision, a lot of other people believed that Tate was an epitome of toxic masculinity. Despite the hate, Andrew Tate remained focused on his goals and preached his message before getting banned from major social media platforms. Andrew Tate has been presenting his views for a long time now. This isn't the first time he's provided a deep insight on the subject of life. There are countless examples of Andrew explaining to people the misconceptions of a human's daily routine. He even proved a whole group of women wrong when he said that women should focus more on family than a career. Tate's response after the interview. Days after the interview, Andrew Tate expressed his feelings about being on the show. Talking on the podcast with his brother, Andrew revealed that he felt he had been treated unfairly by Piers on the show. Andrew said that the two had argued and disagreed over a lot of things on Twitter back when he wasn't banned, but on the show, Andrew had to quiet down because Piers wouldn't let him talk, so it was difficult for Andrew Tate to get his point across Morgan at times. Andrew also talked about how people were supporting him. According to Tate, the show had cut out most of the important things he had discussed and the narrative was edited to make him look like a bad person. But Tate loved the support he got from people. He mentioned it by saying that many people had commented under the video saying that Pierce hadn't given him a chance to say anything. He also said that Pierce secretly agreed that he was wrongfully banned from the internet. That's it for this video, guys. Andrew Tate has now been banned from most of the social media applications, but believe it or not, his popularity hasn't even dropped. Tate's quotes are a big controversy that are creating major conflicts between different groups.